That looks good. I think we're alive. A reapy do. What a morning. What a day. What a morning. I'm going to sneeze. That's great. One more. Ugh. A rapey do. Hoping for a fart. Oh, like a snart. I have snorted before. I don't hold my sneezes in anymore though. I used to like try and stifle them, and then you'd get a snort. Can we get shirt lore? I mean, there's no lore. It's Carole King. Like, she's a singer-songwriter from the 70s. I love her music. Probably best known for her song "It's Too Late." It's too late, baby, now it's too late. No, we really did try and make it. Something inside has died, and I can't hide it, I just can't fake it. I don't think I've heard her stuff before, but it was before my time too. Yeah, probably. Watching from work. Faded. Really? You're at work and faded, huh? Hey, if that works out for you, you're a lucky chap. You know who else is a lucky chap? You, Dinor. You're a lucky chap. And you're a fuzzy chap as well. Still at the beach? No. Oh, I'm back in hell again. Back in the hideous fucking heat and horrible air of the Central Valley of California. It's too late. Da, 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 da. Haunted or hunted, slanted or enchanted. A little Pavement there for you. Slanted and Enchanted. It's a good album. A band called Pavement. Probably like the really like influential band when it comes to like indie rock and shoegaze and stuff like that. Hello, Chad. What's the haps, Chad? What's the haps on the craps? Shake 'em up, shake 'em up, shake 'em up, shake 'em. Roll 'em in a circle and no, don't watch me break 'em with the 7-11, 7-11, 7 never back dog, little Joe. I picked up the cash flow. Then we played bones. I'm yelling dominoes. Plus nobody I know got killed South Central LA. The day was a good day. Oh look, the fascist is streaming again. The world's cuddliest fascist, Paul's ego. The fascism of hugs and kisses. Did I tell you recently that I came into a bunch of money? It's weird because I normally use an old sock. I get what you did there, man. I get what you did there, bro. Did your Sigma shorts come out yet? Yeah, I think some of them did come out, yeah. They're not very Sigma, but that's okay. I don't think they were supposed to be. I enjoy your music takes. I listen to some 70s and 80s classic rock now. It's different. Yeah, it does. Just saw Furiosa last night. Great movie. It's crying shame it's flopping. Go see the movie, you fucks. Yeah, I don't know, man. That seems to be kind of like the plight of Mad Max as a franchise. It's just going to be a bunch of really good movies that people don't really want to see. Unfortunately, it's not like, I think it's the name, honestly. I think it's the name. I think that people like think Mad Max and they think like 80s leather jacket, dorky fucking shit. I don't know. I think they need to like separate the franchise from Mad Max. It's like even this one is called Furiosa, a Mad Max story or whatever the fuck. It's like, maybe not. Saw Furiosa and don't really remember much of it. It wasn't very good. I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard people say like, "Oh, you got to see it. It's great." Like I think TJ said it's like 3/4 as good as Fury Road. That's not like a ringing endorsement for me, you know. If I'm going in to watch Furiosa, I'm going in with Fury Road in the back of my head, and if it doesn't like hold up to Fury Road, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Anya Taylor-Joy's face takes some getting used to. I guess so, yeah. She is very alien looking. Not in a bad way, just like a very kind of like alien beauty. Been told the CG is hella more noticeable. Yeah, that kind of bothers me as well. I could tell that just looking at like the preview or the trailer. I was like, well, this one is nowhere near as committed to practical effects. I just saw one of your YouTube shorts, and you guys are really going for skibbity-brained boomers, huh? Kinda, yeah, I think. No, I don't know what we're going for, to be honest with you. I made a joke, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 shows ago that I wanted our editor to make me some Sigma shorts, and they're not Sigma at all. Like, I don't know. Like I wanted to, you know, like the Jordan Peterson going like, the totality of the male brain is like a dragon, and it lays an egg, and that dragon egg heats up over the centuries and becomes a coal of pain, you know, or whatever, and then, yeah, that's what I was thinking. He went totally like, found every skibbity thing I've ever said and put it on there, and then was like, put a different music behind it. I mean, it needs like either that Sigma music, or it needs that like that remix. And I'm never gonna see you again, my friend. Like that overdriven remix of that shit. Like those, like I don't know, man. Our boy didn't find the song. He didn't do the Sigma song. I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe the editor never watched a Sigma short. Yeah, exactly. It's like some slow, gritty funk over one of my rants, you know. Gotta at least have the classic Sigma song. Exactly. You can't just get a fucking other song and make it the Sigma song. There's a Sigma song. So I gotta say, I'm unhappy with the Sigma shorts. They don't make me look like a Sigma at all. They make me look like a beta. Okay, like a beta. Not even an alpha. A beta. No, I don't care. It's kind of like a great value Sigma short. Yeah, yeah. It's like Dollar General Sigma right now, which is that's its own vibe, you know. I might be going to my first Pride event next week. Cool. Cool. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Just made some Thai peanut sauce. That's just bussin' for real, for real. Yeah, for real, for real. No cap, on God, on gang, on mom, on squad. Okay. Does Cricket ever get violent? Yes, Cricket does. He gets what we call fighty bitey sometimes, where you'll be petting him, you know, and he's loving it. He's purring away, and then he gets a little overstimulated, and all of a sudden he wraps his arms around you and goes for the bite. He doesn't bite very hard. He never breaks the skin. He just likes to have a little fight sometimes. Like what he really likes is to grab onto you, onto your arm, roll over on his back, and kick. He likes to kick. Kick, 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 kick. What breed is he? He's a Bombay, I think. He's a black cat. Love seeing your beautiful chubby cheeks. Aww. How sweet is that? What backwoods you from? I'm from the dirty, dirty West Coast. Flash your gap for the Riz King? What the fuck is that, bro? What color are his eyes? They are green. His eyes are like bright green. Breed equals cat. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty sure I've heard Amelia say that he's a Bombay. Why you love California so much? What's not to love, man? Bombay kitties are like silly panthers. Yeah, he really is. He's a sneaky boy. Like he's very like he loves to not be seen. He wants to like come into the room sneakily. And he does not want to be seen unless he announces it. And sometimes he will very loudly announce that he's like jumping up on something so that we know he's there. He'll go like meow and then pounce up on things. We're like, oh, Cricket's here. Okay, hi buddy. Bombays have gold, copper, amber eyes. Yeah, I don't know what he is then. He's got green eyes for sure. Black, and when he's in the sun, his hair almost looks like dark red, which I guess is black, technically. Like in nature, black is just dark red, I guess. I went to a park in California once. It was impossible to find a vape. Huh? American long hair, most likely. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have your guess would be as good as mine. I mean, he's probably like a kitty mutt as well. You know, he's probably like maybe he's a mix with Bombay and something else. Out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. As soon as I step on the scene, I'm hearing hoochie screaming. Yeah. Who's the greatest fat person? I don't know, man. It's a short list, right? It's got to be like, I don't know, man. Fuck. John Candy, maybe? Gaben is good, but I mean, come on. Is he the best? I don't know. I gotta go John Candy, man. There is no Chris Farley without John Candy. Okay? Chris Farley was John Candy. Paul's ego is the best fat person. Okay. Huel, yeah. I liked Huel in Better Call Saul. Well, I never saw Better Call Saul, but I saw Huel in Breaking Bad. I liked him in that. John Panetta is pretty funny. But John Candy, come on, man. Like if you read about John Candy, you find nothing bad about the guy. Like the worst thing about John Candy was that he suffered from like depressive episodes and stuff. But if you read about him, the sweetest, nicest, funniest dude on movie sets, just a great dude to work with, warm, funny, inviting, you know, made the movie set a fun place to be, etc. I don't know, man. It's like I would put Candy up against other fatty actors, you know. I just don't know. Like Orson Welles, right? You put him up against Orson Welles. Orson Welles was a dick, you know? So, like, the same thing with, what's his name? I'm brain farting his name, guy that played The Godfather, right? I don't know why I'm brain farting his name. That's the way that stonerism works. Dude that played the Godfather. Yeah. I don't know why I'm brain farting that name. Brando, yeah. Marlon. Also a complete dick. And so you got John Candy stands alone, you know? Free Palestine. From the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free. John Candy was a huge part of my childhood. Sad he passed so young. Yeah, I mean that's the fat guy curse, right? We don't live very long. We live big and we live bright, but we burn early. Based. Oh, I'm the most based. Question me on some shit. Trust me. Everything that comes out of my mouth is based. 100%. Guaranteed. Try me. Okay? Paul, when is Salt Rackus 2 coming? Never. Never, never, never. Paul, you don't need to burn. You don't need to burn for a long time. Thoughts on border abolition? Absolutely. Abolish all borders. Bring humanity together under one fucking banner. Okay? Stop with the fucking infighting. Stop with the fucking tribalism. Bring everybody together and let's figure out how we're gonna survive on this fucking planet. Okay? Fuck the borders. Borders are just lines on a map. Okay? And they're used to divide people from people. They're used to divide man from woman, husband from wife, father from child, mother from child. They're meant to divide us, okay? That's all they are. They're lines on a map drawing out economic fucking exploitation zones. They don't mean anything. They mean nothing to the average person other than you can't go across here unless you got X amount of money. It's bullshit, bro. What about house gates? Fine. See, that's the thing is like when you go, I'm a border abolitionist, people are like, oh, so I can just camp on your property? Well, maybe, yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. A fence around your fucking property is not necessarily what I would call borders. Now, you want to get even more based, I'm for the abolition of the commodity form when it comes to rent and housing, living space. I don't think anybody should have to come out of pocket to have a roof over their head. So there's that as well, right? Paul, what age were you when you started doing social media for work? 35. I started at 34 or 35, somewhere around there. What would be the alternative to renting? A housing stipend where you're granted a fucking home. You want to move, you put in a fucking request, and as soon as an apartment is available for you, you move. That's it. No money, no bullshit. I respect that you read the comments and thank you for the reply. I ultimately agree all people should have a place. Yeah. What do you say to people who counter with, look at all the failed socialist communist states? Well, I'm not a socialist or a communist, so I really don't have to answer for those failed states. I would say that if you are really wanting to do a historical analysis of so-called socialist communist states and their failure, you need to really do an analysis of what a communist government would look like according to Marx and Engels. And what those communist governments actually did, okay? Because creating an underclass and an overclass of oligarchs that own everything and command everything, that's not communism, that's state capitalism. State capitalism creates a bourgeois elite who rule on high, and then everyone else is picking up the pieces. That's state capitalism, not communism. So if you want to argue against like failed capitalist nations in the Eastern Europe or sorry, failed communist countries in Eastern Europe or Russia or whatever the fuck, you're going to have to make, if you want to talk to me about it, you're going to have to make an anti-capitalist argument. Otherwise, I think that you don't know what you're talking about. You think people should work to keep those houses? I believe there has to be some incentives to work. Absolutely not, no. A house is the baseline of what you need in order to work. If you don't have a house, you can't take a bath, you can't change your clothes, you can't sleep at night, you can't work a job. Okay? So putting the cart before the horse is not going to work. Imagine believing socialism, aka communism, is better than capitalism. When did I say that? I just got done telling you that I am not a socialist or a communist, and I don't advocate for a transition to a socialist or communist government. That's not my position, but I wasn't saying you. Oh, okay. Just for future reference, because I'm so interactive with the chat, kind of deny your impulse to talk to other people because it causes confusion for me. I hate to be as strict about it, but I have to know that it like you see, I spent like 5 minutes responding to you, and you weren't even talking to me. So no, it's all good, bro. I'm not trying to be a dick about it. And I'm just saying, like, the chat is not a place for arguments unless it's with me. I mean, who's gonna pay for it is a pretty valid question. Shit isn't free. Who's gonna pay for it? So I think you're operating under the assumption that there has to be a capitalistic framework over society for it to work. Who's going to pay for it? I mean, all of us, I guess, would be the answer, right? In my mind, and maybe I'm fucking crazy for this, the whole reason that human beings set up governments, right? The whole reason that we, the people, need a government and empower a government is to make our lives better. If the point of government was to make our lives shitty, none of us would want one. We'd all be anarchists, right? We'd all be just fucking fully avowed anarchists. So yeah, I don't know where that leaves you, you know? Like I'm for the abolition of all forms of capital and all forms of trade. I think we need a new way of doing things on this planet. I don't think that we can all continue to live like we're all petty kings, grabbing up as much shit as we can and then dying with it. I don't think that's working. I don't think that that's feasible going forward for the species. And I think we're going to have to come up with a way or perish due to our own greed and intransigence. Well, that does sound pretty communist, and that's based. Like I said, I don't shy away from the ideas of socialism and communism. I've read theory. I'm especially interested in the work that Marx and Engels did with the International Workers Union based out of Europe that had chapters all over the world. I think that if we're going to take something that Marx and Engels did and lionize it, I think it's going to be the International Workers Union. But as far as like establishing some sort of a fucking communist government or whatever, I'm not a big advocate for that. You look like you drunk drive frequently. I'm sorry to tell you, I don't even really drink. Like, I'll have a couple of beers and stuff. I won't lie to you. When I was young, I in my teens, I drunk drove once, a couple of times actually. Very dangerous thing to do. I would say don't do it. I would say please don't do it. But yeah, I don't even really drink. You got the wrong guy. I do smoke a lot of weed. Does that count? I subed. Thanks. Thanks for subing. Why do you think people only ask how we'll pay for something when it's a social program? Well, because people are capitalism brained, right? People have this idea that when you're born, you owe. As soon as you're born, you're in debt to society, and it's up to you to collect as much money as you can and pay your way. And I think that mentality, and I think that social order has destroyed the planet. The evidence is all around us. As soon as you're born, they make you feel small. by giving you nothing instead of it all. A working class hero is something to be. I have not listened to Eminem's new song. I'm not a big Eminem guy, so you're not going to catch me running right out to listen to the new Eminem song. I like Eminem. I like older Eminem, though. I think when Eminem, and this is a hot take, and this is a sad take, I think when Eminem got clean, Eminem got whack. He's still better than most rappers. He taught himself to rap without opiates and shit. But I think that he was better, way, way, way better when he was on drugs. I think that's true of a lot of artists, though, unfortunately. What do you think there needs to be a government of any kind? I don't know, man. That's a good question. I'm not an anarchist. I do believe that we need a framework. I do believe that we need a system of overarching justice, and I understand that anarchism doesn't necessarily mutually exclude those things, right? You're giving a lot of long-term goals. Yeah, I'm a long-term thinker. I think thinking in the short term is necessary sometimes, but I also think it stymies progress. I think that we've reached a point in America where we need a dream again. We need something to dream about. We need something to push for. We need a common goal. We don't have one anymore. The common goal right now seems to be fuck you, got mine. It's not working, guys. Fuck you, got mine is not working. So we got to do something else, right? What do you think about the blacks? He got nuked. Blaze was like, or no, it was Otello. Otello was like, no, we're not going to do that. What do I think about the blacks? I like the blacks, man. I'm down with the blacks, okay? I'm cool with the blacks. Wasn't the first time he typed that. Damn. But are you down with the clown? If your nuts hang and you bang with a gang, then tell me, are you down with the clown? I guess I am, because I know that. What is a juggalo? Ladies and gentlemen, here tonight with their brand new album, Kicking the Can, this is the Blacks. Adamantly disagree with you, TJ and Scotty, on almost everything politically. Ouch. But you guys are great showmen and really funny. Day one DFF viewer, keep the laughs coming. You got it, buddy. And you might want to think about changing your mind because it feels so good to be right. It really does, man. Being correct feels better than anything in the world. Moral rectitude. they're fucking trying to charge people for it. I just don't feel like fighting it.
Yeah. I'll just focus on.
I feel like it would be a fucking pointless argument.
Yeah.
I really liked the hippie DFF. Cool. You should thank Amelia.
Well, you added a ton too. Just me doing the framework isn't an episode. It's just a starting point.
I mean, you did the research. You structured the episode.
With your help, you gave me topics to look into and stuff. It was a team effort.
Okay. As a team effort. Why do you think Zoomers can't watch anything more than 20 seconds while video essays are quite popular? I think that Zoomers watch plenty of long form stuff. I do think that they spend way more time than other people watching short form content. I mean, that's just obvious. I mean, look at this, right? The reason that I've been doing these pretty much every day is because I'm getting an obscene amount of new subscribers just because this is in the shorts feed. So this is like young people mostly going like, I mean, they come across this weird fucking hippie guy that, you know, and they sit and listen, and some of them hit the fucking subscribe button. Like, it's just, so that's what I say. I say that Zoomers have less of an attention span, it would seem, than previous generations.
Well, you see the big growing channels on YouTube now. They kind of made their first impression on TikTok or Shorts.
Yeah.
Struggle to get the same amount of popularity on their long form videos.
Oh. Yeah. Fimya's got 30k subs in 3 months doing vertical streams. She calls it algorithm maxing. I mean, I've just been doing it like this, right? And I got my like report or whatever from this channel for the last month, and it was obscenely positive. I've got like 800 new subscribers in the last month. My views have quintupled or more. It's crazy. It's fucking nuts. I keep telling TJ, like, I don't know, he wants to bring his fucking channel back from the ashes, like the Amazing Atheist channel, because he's, like, last time I looked, he's getting like 25, 30k a video, and he's got close to 1 million fucking subs. That doesn't make any sense. I feel like that there's a lot of people that are still alive and subscribed to TJ who just have not seen his face in their feed in like 6 years.
So many people don't even look at their subscriptions page. They just look at the homepage.
Exactly. They land on the homepage, they go to the shorts thing, and they scroll. It's like, you know how many times, every time I do one of these, I get like 5 or 10 people in the chat. You guys watch them. They'll pop in. I haven't seen you in 2 years. I didn't know you were still doing it. Whoa, is that Paul Zigo from DP? I mean, they haven't seen me since I left DP. In a lot of cases. In like 2018. That's nuts. You know, I keep telling TJ, man, you need to do one of these. 2, 3 of these a week. Just sit down with your fucking phone and yap at it, bro, and see what happens. I guarantee you he'll get a couple thousand subscribers. Like that. That channel will turn around. We're having a meeting today. I'm gonna bring it up to him and again, dude, because it's absurd. I'm not even trying to build this channel. I really don't care. And it's like, just like every stream I do is bigger than the last. More people watching. And now that all that time has passed, can you tell us why DP really separated? So you think that the answer that you got from all parties involved is like a fake answer all these years later? It stopped because we didn't want to work together anymore.
disagreed
There was
about
a
the direction.
there was a huge disagreement amongst the owners of the fucking property on the direction that that property should take. It was irreconcilable. I was a contractor on that show. I chose to go one way and not the other. That's it. That's literally it. Anybody else feeding you some other bullshit is just trying to fucking sap drama where there really wasn't any. Like, there was legal drama and jockeying behind the scenes, as you might expect. When there's a big property with co-ownership, it's got to be, you got to carve the turkey somehow. But as far as it being like some fucking secret thing that nobody mentioned or whatever the fuck, it just isn't true. I'm sorry that you want, you know, there to be some big drama thing, but I can't give you that. Do you have the option to do both shows? Probably not, no.
Not both. It was
No.
definitely one or the other.
Yeah.
And it was no hate towards Ben or Billy that you didn't go on their side. You just knew TJ a little better.
I've been working with the guys for longer. I made my choice. That's it. Honest question, why did you ban me for disagreeing with you on the Scarface Sigma short being made by fans? I have no fucking clue what you're talking about, bro. What you just typed is I don't even have a memory reference for it. That's another thing that's kind of weird too when you do this job, is like, people will remember shit that you did and said fucking months ago. And you have to understand, like, I can't tell you what I did on the last one of these yesterday morning. I couldn't give you 5 topics I covered.
I got female brain, so I do remember.
Of course. Well, you're also not doing it, though.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like, you will sometimes participate in these, sometimes not, right? But I'm doing like dozens of hours of content every week. My mouth is constantly running. It's like, what do you expect me to know? You know? I hope you can still support yourselves. No, we're doing really good, man. Like, obviously, any business owner wants to be doing better. And certainly there's a trend of, like, slowly but surely diminishing that you don't want to fucking undercut. But as far as, like, our month to month, year to year, it's really good, man. Like, we are very lucky. It's one of those things, man. I don't mean to chuff myself up or pat myself on the back. Everybody in the world wants to do this for a living. Everybody. It's like, long ago, kids stopped saying, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a cop, I want to be a soldier, I want to be a general. They stopped doing all that shit. And they started going, I want to be a TikToker, I want to be a fucking YouTuber, I want to be a whatever. And it's not just kids either. People my age. I mean, everybody in the world wants to do this for a fucking living. And only a few of us get to. South Slovakia loves you. Cool. Does it really, though? I feel like South Slovakia wouldn't love me so much if I came there. But maybe I'm wrong. I feel like South Slovakia might be kind of like, ugh. I remember you wished me Merry Christmas on one of your ideology streams back in the day, and that's a core memory for me. Thank you for years of laughter. Yeah, see? I can't remember that, but it's cool that you do. What do you dislike most about being a YouTuber? I don't know, man. It's stressful sometimes, I guess. It's a high stress kind of job. You really have to get more than comfortable broadcasting a lot of your life and spending a lot of your time in front of a camera. I mean, it's tough. It's not easy like a lot of people assume. If it was easy, there'd be millions and millions of us. Reminds me of that Pound Cake song Drake and Jay-Z did. Do you remember? Jay-Z says, my homies say, Jay, there ain't many of us. I said, less is more, neighbor. There's plenty of us. Neighbor being the N-word. Homies say, Jay, there ain't many of us. say less is more, neighbor. There's plenty of us. Cash moves everything around me. Green. Get the money, money, money. Dollar, dollar, dollar bill, y'all, y'all, y'all. If you were a typically attractive guy, would you do OnlyFans? Probably not, man.
You're just not an exhibitionist.
Nah. No, I don't really like the idea of people looking at me in that way. So, but maybe I'd have a different, you know, maybe that's based on just growing up the way that I am, you know. Maybe if I looked different my whole life, I'd feel different, you know.
I mean, there's plenty of fat guys that do OnlyFans too.
True. Yeah. You know, I definitely don't think that I would fit the mold of traditionally attractive, but yeah, I'm sure that there are way uglier dudes than me doing OnlyFans on the regular. May or may not fix all the world problems. All right, naughty priest. Okay. All right. Look, I take your position more seriously than most. But are they making money? That's the question, right? Some of them probably are, I'd imagine.
I do notice that like more of them go towards the explicit Patreon than the OnlyFans necessarily if they're not traditionally
Really?
attractive.
Yeah,
especially.
Yeah, I know nothing about it. I know nothing about it. So, it's not even something I've ever even considered. You know, you go through your brain like, how can I maximize this content? Let me put my dick on the internet. It's never really passed muster with me. Hi from Vegas. What's up, Vegas? Hi from 4 hours away. Well, maybe 4 hours and change. 4 hours at a skosh.
You always got to remember to add like a couple hours now to those road trips for charging time.
True. True. What combo did I walk into? I don't know, man. I wish I could catch you up, but I have no fucking clue what we're talking about, and that's cool.
Yeah. Like you gave them the cursed Lambo story, but you didn't give them the cursed final fucking whipping we got at the end of the trip.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to fucking talk about it, bro.
Yeah.
We survived. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Some old man backed into me in a fucking Safeway parking lot, and then tried like if you've ever been in a little parking lot bump, I always just like roll my eyes, not necessarily because you have to deal with the parking lot bump, but because is this person driving going to get brolic with me? That's the question. And so I'm trying to like maneuver myself into a space. An old man backs into me. Thunk. Right? I'm like, fuck. So I park, I get out, old man gets out of the car. He walks up to me and he goes, well, somebody wasn't looking. And I looked at his car, pulled ass out into the lane where he hit me. And I was like, yeah, somebody wasn't, sir.
We got all the backup cameras, all the
I got everything.
centers.
If the cop had come down, they would have been able to pull footage from my backup cameras off of my car. So they would have been able to watch this dude back into me.
Yeah. But you were already halfway out before he hit the gas.
I'm driving a brand new $80,000 SUV, brand new. He's driving what looked like a 2001 Hyundai Elantra or something. So the gears start turning in his fucking head when he takes a look at my car and then his. He's like, I don't know. What do you want to do? I was like, it's up to you, sir. I looked at the car. There's a little nick on the paint. That's it. I was like, I'm a fucking lease guy, so I really don't care. You know, they're going to ding me for it when I turn this in, but I'm willing to walk away, but that's up to you. We can call the cops right now, sir, if that's what you want. He looks at me, gives me like that long look right in the eyes, and then he puts his hand out and goes, happy day. I was like, happy day. He went on his way and I went on mine. It's like, you want to fucking play this game, you want to call the cops, I can guarantee you you're going to be at fault for this, sir. and
Or
you're
the very
gonna,
least shared fault.
yeah, and it's gonna be a couple grand to fix that nick in my paint because I got fucking 5 coats of primer gray, and it's all the way down to the fucking base. So you got a big nick here. You want to pay me 3 grand? I'm cool with that, or you can just go. Good deed, man. I mean, I'm usually that way on a parking lot bump.
Fuck it, it's the most common fucking kind of accident is fucking bonking into people in the parking lot.
Yeah. You get 1 ticket to any concert in the 60s or 70s. What show you picking? Jimi Hendrix Experience. Live outdoor Jimi Hendrix Experience with some fucking big blunts, man. From what I heard from people that got to see Jimmy and his band, nothing else like it in the world. So no hesitation on that one. Jimi Hendrix and the Jimi Hendrix Experience. It's sad that a fender bender can ruin some people. Well, I know, like the old guy was mad because he felt like maybe it was me that backed into him, but my ass was pulling into a parking spot and he was pulling out. So it was clear who backed into who. And the differential, like he had a couple of scuffs on his bumper that would have buffed out. It would have been like a $50 buff out on my end. And I had about a $2,000 repaint chip. They're going to have to pull a panel on my fucking car and repaint it. It's not damaged or dented or anything. It's just got a big, deep nick in it from where his fucking part of his bumper hit it.
The paint is what you really got to worry about for price.
That's a $3,000 repaint, like a panel spray.
Yeah.
You definitely did him a solid. Yeah. He probably thinks he did me a solid. That's the sad thing about when you do this, because I've had this happen before. When I was in Texas, I was on the freeway, and I got off the freeway, and it was one of those like long off ramps, and it was backed up. And so I got onto the off ramp, and somebody was behind me not paying attention, and I sensed it, dude. I looked up in my rear view, and I was like, oh fuck, that truck is not slowing down. Boom. And he hit the brakes too late and bumped me. And I was like, oh, here we go. I got out. He gets out. He's like, oh my God, bro, I'm fucking so sorry. I didn't even fucking I wasn't looking well. And I was like, I looked. There was a little scuff on my bumper. He had a bigger truck. There was nothing on his. So I really could have fucked him. And I was like, dude, we can call if you want, but I'm fine with it. Like, it's a scuff on my bumper. I don't really care. He was like, are you serious, bro? I was like, yeah. Oh my God, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Got back in his car and went. It's like, I don't know what that guy's issue was, but it sounded like he might have had, like, you know, some financial problems. Maybe he was uninsured. I can't really tell you, like, one way or the other what it was that he was worried about, but I'm not a dick when it comes to shit like that, bro. Like, if my car is not drivable, if you've dented in the side or something, I'm calling. I'm sorry, the cops are gonna come and do the fucking report. But if it's just a parking lot scrape or something, and everybody's okay, the cars are not fucking broken, then let's just go, guys. Are you related to Mick Foley? Man, I wish. Mick Foley's rich. Rich and famous. You related to Bruce Valanche? Man, I wish. Bruce Valanche is rich and famous.
Are you related to Queso?
Queso. Pokemon or Dragon Balls? Dragon Balls. Fuck a Pokemon. Give me that Dragon Ball. Being related to a rich person doesn't make you rich. Says you.
The croak, it kind of does.
Yeah, when they die, it does. I mean, sometimes, I guess.
Yeah.
Got a better chance. I don't have any rich uncles, so if I had like a rich uncle, I'd have a better chance of getting rich. You're Jack Black, but more handsome. More handsome than Jack Black? I don't think so.
Well, you got the cooler hair color.
Is it?
Yeah, you got the reddish brown, reddish blonde. better facial structure.
Do I? I don't know. I like Jack Black. I think he's pretty good looking.
He's also a lot older than you two.
Is he?
He's gotta be at least.
He's got. I think he's in his like early 50s.
Let's see.
Got to be like maybe 10 years older than me. There's no way he's more than 55. He's 53. Yeah, so he's exactly 10 years older than me. Well,
Yeah.
9 years older than me. Oh, 54. 10 years. I was dead on.
Yeah.
He's literally born in 1970 at that point then. And I was born in 1980. So that's not that big of a fucking deal. That's not that big of a difference. No, I'm not going to say that, dude. I don't know Alex or whether or not Alex is a Sigma, so I'm not going to announce that Alex is a Sigma for you. I'm sorry. August is 69. Yeah, makes sense. He did quite well for himself in the marriage department. So did I. We're both fat guys that married up.
I wouldn't call it that.
Oh, I married way up. You may not like it. You know, you may not want to admit it. You're a humble woman. I married way up.
Well, thank you, baby. I think I married up.
No, you married down, but that's okay. You managed to marry down and marry up at the same time. I don't know how it worked, but why don't you guys make more content about third parties if you want one to win? Give them more attention. I don't think one of the existent third parties is ever going to win.
They're too fractured.
They're too fractured. They're too used to just being like a political agitation device and not an actual political party. It's like the Green Party knows it's not going to win, and they're not really trying. They just want to get on the debate stage, right? And I get that. That is one way to make a party more viable, is to get a really charismatic person out in front of it. But I'm not a big fan of like the Green Party or the Justice Dems or any of this bullshit. You look like those anti-Semitic cartoons of Jews.
You ain't got a drop of Jew in you.
That's so fucked, man. What do you mean? Like that one? That's the one we're talking about here? What? How? That's mean to me and it's mean to Jews in that order. You kind of have the nose. I do have a big nose. We call it the Parky nose. But this is a Scandinavian nose, guys. I hate to fucking tell you. Okay? I've done my whole genetic breakdown, man, and there's not a drop of any kind of fucking sauce in my... It's all white, man. It's all Alfredo. Okay? It's Irish, it's Scottish, it's British, it's Scandinavian. A little bit of German, a little bit of French. There's like a sprinkle on the actual European continent. You'd fit in here in Sweden? Yeah. Yeah.
Probably your height is a little Scandinavian too.
I would imagine so, yeah. But like the whole Scandinavian thing, I shouldn't even say Scandinavian / the British Isles. They're literally the same thing. If you go back to like 610 or whatever the fuck, it's the same thing. There's no difference. A Scottish, yeah. A little bit of French, yeah. A little bit of German. A little bit of European, like West European muddery going on. But like the biggest percentage is Irish. The next biggest percentage is British Isles, so like Scotland and Great Britain, and then the next biggest percentage after that is Scandinavian, broadly Scandinavian. So not even like Swedish, Norwegian. Doesn't really drill down that hard. Which probably means that my last Swedish ancestor raped and pillaged his way into Ireland at some point in the 610s, and that's that. I'm mostly Ulster Scots. We figured out my coat of arms. Remember?
Yeah.
Touch ye not a cat bot. That's my coat of arms. Means don't grab a cat by the tail, man. You're gonna get the claws. Don't tempt the tiger. Touch ye not a cat bot.
That might be a cool tattoo.
I think it would be. If TJ is Scottish, then Scotty must be TJish. What's the lowest percentage of ancestry? When I first did it, there was like less than 1% broadly Southeast Asian. And that disappeared once they updated my profile. I think everybody's got a little drip of Southeast Asian in them due to fucking Genghis Khan and shit. I would imagine.
But they've done a lot of updating. Because there's only... They rely on people like self-reporting their ancestry too to nail it down.
They say that it's not really super accurate for you until they've had your data for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Because they have to compare you to similarities in other people's genomes, and it updates and updates. So I had like less than 1% broadly Southeast Asian that disappeared off of my thing immediately, like within a year. And now it says ancestry 100% European. Do you know TJ's last name means church? That's ironic. Yeah. Kirk is German for church. Isn't all that DNA ancestry tests owned by the Mormons so they get names for the post-mortem baptisms? I don't know. Is that true?
I doubt it.
I'm 164th Cherokee. Yeah, that my genetic test destroyed like a fucking family lore, a piece of family lore that's actually very like common. It's very common for white people, white American people especially. You got multi-generational white family. It's very common if you talk to those people for them to say, oh, we got a little Indian if you go back. It's almost like at a certain point it implied nobility. It like put your family on the map here earlier than other families.
Yeah, it's like we're even more American.
Yeah. We're so American that we even like had some Indian ancestry.
Because my family had the same fucking bullshit story.
Yep. It was very much like, yeah. It's like a common thing for white American families, like multi-generational American families, to have this story that there was an Indian.
Because it implies, like, you were in the colonial time.
Exactly. It implies your family's been here since America's been here and before. So the story of mine was that there was an Indian Cherokee or Blackfoot Indian princess named Abigail Lucinda Rainwater who married one of my ancestors who came over from Ireland. And the story was they met in New York City and then they wagon trained west together and landed somewhere over the Mississippi River. If that was the case, that would have been my great-great-great-grandmother. So triple great-grandmother, Abigail Lucinda Rainwater. And she didn't exist. I did ancestry reports, and I didn't even really need to do the ancestry reports because there's literally no evidence of Native American in my bloodline whatsoever. Not a drop, not a drip. And that is true of not, probably like 95% of white families who say they've got an Indian chief or princess or whatever in their lineage. Now that sort of stuff did happen. White settlers came here, they intermingled with the native population. That always happens during colonialism, right? So it's not unheard of to find a family that, you look them in the face, they're white as can be, but they got 1 or 2% Cherokee or Blackfoot or Miwok or whatever. That does exist. It happened.
It wasn't nearly to the level of like the Spanish in Mexico.
No, well, people just don't understand how few Native Americans there were here, even at the height, compared to the rest of the world on a landmass that size. American Indian culture was not a culture of mass spreading of population. It was a nomadic culture for the most part that kind of self-checked its population. And so when Americans came here, yes, the Indians were able to do massive damage because they knew the area, right? But once the European colonization started, it wasn't long before there were more Europeans on the continent than Native Americans. And this is prior to even the states being carved out as territories. We're talking about early colonial America. You got Dutch immigrants, a lot of Dutch immigrants in early colonial America, right? You got German immigrants, you got French immigrants, all these people coming from the British Isles. They all conglomerated here and created these little kind of cultural places that stand. New Haven, Connecticut is one of the oldest cities on the American continent. New Orleans is one of the oldest freestanding cities on the American continent. One of the first things that explorers did when they hit the fucking East Coast was find the Mississippi River and ride it all the way to the Gulf. And when they did, and they saw what a fucking crazy shipping lane they had discovered, they set up the city that would become New Orleans. And this is before, there was any real animus between white settlers and Indians other than skirmishes and stuff. Tenochtitlan had already fallen by the time Europeans got there. Yes, that is true. That is true. Montezuma was presiding over a failing empire. Anyone on anything on William Penn and Purdue in Delaware? No. You'll have to fill me in on that. Now Mexico City is running out of water. Yeah, everywhere is running out of water. Do you remember when, I always try and remind you guys of this. You remember when your vice president, Kamala Harris, said the quiet part loud and said that in the 90s and early 2000s we fought wars for oil? That's already the quiet part loud because you're not supposed to say that. And she said, in the coming years, we will fight wars for water.
And she also said in that same speech, do not come.
Do not come. Do not come. Hi, Poltergeist. Can you please state your pronouns for the chat? He, him are my preferred pronouns. I'll take they, them as well. I'm cool with that. I'm gonna come.
The problem with the third parties is, like, they don't attack them enough, like the Democrats.
Well, because they want a coalition government. They know they're not going to win the presidencies, but they think they might get a seat.
Yeah.
And if they can caucus with the Democrats. The existent third-party structure is on both the right and the left, because on the right you've got the Libertarian Party. The Libertarian Party, I don't think, has been serious about trying to get a presidential candidate up since Ron Paul. They're basically just like we want to caucus with the Republicans. We're the fucking radical freedom of expression, freedom of speech wing of the Republican Party. And and we want to caucus with those Republicans. And the same thing goes for like the Greens, right? First past the post voting makes third parties almost impossible. Almost, but not. The flaw of first past the post voting is that it's no respecter of party. So if a third party did get a plurality of votes, it would have to be recognized. First past the post has its own death sentence written into its rules.
It's just they've tricked everyone into thinking that it's just a completely failed thing.
You can convince everybody to say what a dream it is. You can convince even radical leftists to tell you not to waste your time with it. Then you've effectively inoculated the system against the one thing that we could use in a first past the post system to upset the apple cart. So
But now our politicians just fear monger, and it's like, you better not spoil the vote.
yeah. Well, every time one of these duopoly parties loses, they always have to have a scapegoat. They can never go, we lost because we sucked. We lost because we made a bad argument and the American people didn't buy it. We lost because we didn't campaign properly. We lost because we spent money frivolously. We lost, and here's why. You'll never hear that. You never hear that.
Jill Stein voters got fucking eviscerated
Yeah, oh yeah.
by Democrats.
Bernie voters.
Yeah.
Remember Bernie or busters were just like vilified amongst the Democrats as secret Trumpists because they wouldn't sign their name under fucking racist warmonger Joe Biden.
He meant Clinton. It was the Bernie and busters that were shit on after Clinton.
Clinton. Well, I mean, again, when he ran again in 2020.
Yeah.
Bernie or busters were around in 2022, and when Joe Biden fucking did the fucking Super Tuesday coup d'etat and had all the DNC aligned candidates drop out and endorse right before fucking Super Tuesday, when he pulled the fucking Et tu Brute knife pull, right? Immediately, the libs started pointing the finger at Bernie bros and going like, oh, it's you. If Trump wins, it'll be you. It's like, no, if Trump wins, it's you. It's you. Because you stood by while an old fucking dried up diaper wearing old man usurped the one great hope that we had for fucking change in politics in the last fucking 100 years. It's you. You went along with it. When Biden whipped out his night of the long knives on Monday before Super Tuesday and eviscerated the Bernie campaign in front of everybody using party politics to do it, you put that man there. You decided to go along to get along and put your name underneath Joe Biden, not me. You lost it. You failed to convince me and apparently a bunch of other people to do the right thing. It's on you. It's not on me. See, this is a very religious thing, too. You'll find religious people do this. It's called shifting the burden of proof. The burden of proof is a very heavy burden, guys. It is a sack filled with uncomfortable truth. And you have to throw that fucking sack over your shoulder if you're going to make a fucking argument that's philosophical, political, or religious. And a lot of people do not want that burden. They want you, as a person saying, no, to have to take half that burden or more. Well, okay, no, but here, let me offload some of the shit that I need to account for onto you. No. No, there's a clear burden of proof. There's a clear burden of evidence, okay? We're human beings. We're not apes, okay? We can think logically. We can think 3 steps ahead. We can make some pretty fucking serious proclamations about what's happened in the past. So let's do it. Let's stop making excuses and quit trying to take stuff out of your sack and give it to me. I've got my own burden to carry. I'm not trying to hand it to you. And you want her, and she wants you. But you want everyone. And she wants her, and she wants you. No one, no one, no one ever is to blame. Boom, 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 boom.
I think I'm ready to actually drag myself to the grocery store now.
Well, be careful, baby.
I will. I love you.
I love you too. You got precious cargo, remember.
Yep.
What's the absolute number one issue in your opinion? The climate, honestly. I mean, like, none of this fucking bullshit we're arguing about is gonna matter when the fucking freshwater lakes start drying up and the hurricanes knock out our fucking ports and our coastal cities are sinking and the oceans are dying and the jungles are disappearing and the trees are fucking disappearing and carbon dioxide levels are just tripling every goddamn 10 years. It's not, we're dead on the planet. I don't really see any existential threat that could get us past that. So nihilism, I mean, I am a nihilist, but that doesn't mean what I think you think it means. Let's put it that way. Ever heard of optimistic nihilism? You can look it up. A lot of people think nihilist means pessimist. I'm also a pessimist. A lot of people think pessimist means, nuh-uh, everything bad. So who cares? That's not pessimism. It's so hard to explain these things to people because they're not coming at it from like a basis. They don't know what these things are. Nihilist in this country, if it's used at all, is used as a pejorative rather than an actual descriptor. And the same thing with pessimist. Pessimist means a gloomy Gus. So many people conflate pessimism, apathy, and anger with nihilism. I don't understand how they get that idea. Well, they get that idea because you're not really like encouraged in this country to dig deeper than the surface. When you learn a new word that means you bad, me right, you just want to use it. You don't want to know what it is. So you hear somebody way smarter than you call somebody a fucking hopeless nihilist, and you go, oh, yeah, that means they don't care about shit. You're a nihilist, bro. Now you're armed with this fucking thing that you don't understand. You don't know anything about the philosophy of nihilism. You have nothing to fucking bring to the conversation, and you've ruined the word, you know. Nihilism sucks. It really doesn't, though. That's the thing. Nihilism is just like, it's just a philosophy that states that you don't believe that there's an inherent meaning to anything. Okay? That doesn't mean that you can't self-ascribe personal meaning. In fact, that's exactly what it means. It means that you should self-ascribe personal meaning. That's nihilism. Nihilism just means that there's not some stone tablet somewhere in the universe that says, here is the way things are. There's meaning in everything, sure. Personally ascribed meaning. I look at my dog and I feel a surge of love. You look at my dog and you think, oh, cute dog. I ascribe more meaning to Dinor, right? I have a meaningful relationship to me with Dinor, and I've known him for a long time. He and I are best buds, right? That's inherent meaning to me, but not inherent meaning to the universe. There's no such thing as inherent meaning to the universe. Meaning is 100% subjective. 100%. It's not, it can be subjective, my friend. It is 100% subjective. You can't get 5 people in the same room and agree on the same meaning of anything. It's entirely personal, entirely subjective, and that's okay. There is no inherent meaning to anything, therefore I'm free to create my own meaning for everything. Exactly. What's true is what's true for you. That's a Scientology phrase. I'm not a big fan of Scientology as a religion, but I've always liked that phrase. I think there's truth to that. What's true is what's true for you. Something to think about. You could unite the world under one flag, but it's the maple leaf flag of the North, would you? Yes. I don't have the Canada phobia. If Canada wants to take over the world, I welcome our new Canadian syrup sipping, moose hunting overlords, okay? I've got no particular love for the United States as an entity in terms of its longevity. If it becomes something else, I'm fine with that, right? Do you think there could be an inherent meaning we haven't discovered yet? Could there be? Yes. Do I think that it is probable? No. I mean, could we dig deep enough into quantum physics where we meet God? You know, or whatever multidimensional being that we call God? Is that a possibility? Yeah. Is it a probability? Nah, I don't think so. Dude, why are we talking about Canada, guys? Can we stop? Yeah, like somehow you guys got. I made one. I read one Canada thing, and now there's a whole Canada argument going. Like, let's stop. Who cares? I'm a border abolitionist, guys. I give a fuck about Canada or any other country, for that matter. I care about human beings. I care about individuals and their situations. Okay. Parasite? Are you talking about the South Korean horror movie? Or are you talking about me being a parasite? Expound. I'll have a talk with you. Show some nipple. Bro, you ain't bought in. You ain't bought in. All right. You want nipple, you're going to have to pay for nipple. And there's no way for you to pay here. Go join the Pessimist Productions Patreon, okay? Go to Patreon, search Pessimist Productions, join that, okay? There's so many fucking hours of shit. You'll never get through it. It's wonderful. It's more of me. Go do that, okay? Pay me. Pay me. Pin me and pay me. My nipples are out there. I have gone shirtless before, okay? So if you really need to see it, that's where it's at. Paul, why not use a bong? Pain in the ass to clean a bong. Old school stoner shit. I like letting the resin build up. Then you hit that dirty resin. Any video games you're into right now, dude? I'm deep in the samurai fucking lands of Tsushima. Okay, I'm deep into it. I'm so good at that game too. I put it on the max difficulty because, like, on normal it was painfully fucking simple. I bumped it up to hard and I was still just face rolling it. So I put it on an insane, where basically like one sword hit beats me, and now it's actually a challenging game and I'm enjoying it, and I'm sucked all the way in. Were you ever a cigarette smoker? No. No, I never got into that dirty fucking habit. You gonna play GTA 6? No. Yes. How do you spell that? Yeah, it's like tsunami. Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. There's this new game out right now called Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's rife with samurai Japanese culture, which, as you know, me as a Japanese man, I'm very interested in. And Ghost of Tsushima is the best game. Oh my, oh my, that Ghost of Tsushima. You're already playing the DLC? No. Well, there's like a multiplayer thing. I kind of like accidentally started it because I didn't know what it was, and I was like, I'll come back to this after I beat the game. Oh my, tsunami, tsunami. That's what you have to say. Tsunami, tsunami. Nobody recognizes that impression, man. I must be old, bro. That's a really good impression, guys. Okay? But it's just of a dude you probably don't fucking care about. Nobody knows Commander Sulu anymore. George Takei. My name is George Takei. Balloon Knot. This is the Howard Stern Show. Oh my. Isn't that comic store guy? No, that's more like worst ever. Actually, Terminator is one of the worst films ever made. Very different. It's got that, like, I hate to say this. I'm gonna get canceled. I'm gonna get canceled. But I gotta say it. It's got a little bit of that autism to it. Okay? That's all I'm gonna say. George Takei is here. And that if you add a little bit of that autism, you get worst comic book ever. Okay? Please don't cancel me, okay? I'm from the 90s. I don't know any better. It's okay. I have autism. It's cool. I know. I can tell. Clipped. I know. I know. I'm fucked now. As an autismo, I'm fine with it. Look, I'm getting all kinds of autistic backing for this, okay? They understand what I'm saying. I'll give you the TISM pass. Thank you. Wish I had that Rain Man TISM. Yeah, me too, man. Definitely. 4,279 jelly beans. Definitely. 4,279 jelly beans definitely in the jar. Definitely. Definitely 1,400 different combinations. Definitely. Definitely. Remember I Am Sam? Dude, I mean, I hate to agree with Tropic Thunder on this, but you never go full retard. That little, as funny as that little scene is, it's actually true. That's what makes it funny. I hate, I'm just quoting the movie, man. All right. Movie is from a simpler time. All right. Tell that to the blue hair libs. The blue hair libs don't even exist. Can I? Man, I feel like I have to help some of you guys out. All right. This like blue hair, rad femme, all vaginal sex is rape left that you guys are like really scared of and stuff. It doesn't exist, guys. You know what it is? It's a college club, okay? No, 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 guys, listen. It's a college club, okay? It's a college club. There are college kids, right? And these are kids just out of high school and stuff, right? They dye their hair blue because they read a fucking piece of radical feminist literature or something. They're just trying to figure out who they are, guys. It's the same way as like when you started spitting chaw at 13 or whatever, right? When you begged your parents to get you a Stetson and then you started sneaking dad's long cut so that you could, you know, stand by your fucking Ford F-150 with your thumbs in your pockets and, you know what I mean, at 14. All right, it's the same shit. It really is, guys. You guys are like tilting at windmills with this blue hair stuff. It's like less than fucking 1% of the left. Way less. You know, they're easier to spot than other people because their hair's blue, you know. I think that makes people think they're everywhere. But most people haven't. Most people have never bumped into an actual blue hair radlib. It's like these people are like they're an internet phenomenon. There might be 15 of them sprinkled around the campus, you know, like maybe. What was that saying? Tilting at windmills. It's a reference to Don Quixote, a Spanish knight who, you know, tilted at windmills, would joust against windmills. No, they're pretty much everywhere. Bruh, you guys really need to be afraid of the real fucking threat here. The blue hairs, can you show me on the doll where the blue hair touched you? Show me on the doll. All right, let's get through this trauma. Let's trauma bond, okay? Show me on the doll where the blue hair touched you. Because you're really, really afraid of the wrong people, man. That's why they go viral, exactly. They're a rare spectacle in the wild. When they pop up, people fucking whip out their phones immediately because they're like, oh my God, it's like a unicorn, man. Can you show me on the doll where the blue-haired college liberal touched you? Blue hairs in every corner. Blue hair, dude, is that a blue hair in the bushes? You guys. You guys. You guys. I'm so glad someone's finally saying this. I mean, is this something new? There's not a lot of people that say this. They really should. And I'm not even really, like, trying to shit on that. Like, that's what college is for, guys. College is when you're like, oh, I'm just out of high school. I'm kind of like learning to be an adult. I'm figuring out where I fit. And I'm young and I'm passionate. And, oh, man, there's this radical fucking club here at the school. And holy shit, they say some crazy stuff about gender that makes me think. And I'm like fucking into that, man. Yeah. Oh, wait. It's fucking graduation time. I got to buckle down. Fuck, oh man, I barely passed. Oh, all right, I did it. Fucking yay, graduation. Let me throw my cap. Fuck, I gotta find a job, man. Holy shit, bro. Yeah, oh fuck, what's this in my text? Oh, the Blue Hair Club. Fuck, I'm gonna have to skip that, man. Sorry, guys. Can't make it. Looking for job, LOL. And then fucking on and on, right? If you guys are scared of that, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know how you got so fearful, conservatives. I got to go to college a bunch. I'm like a semester and a half from a degree. I just dropped out 3 times. What are you scared of? Warmongers. hyper-capitalists, exploiters, rapers, pillagers, crony capitalists, vulture capitalists, the people that are like ruining the fucking world, dumping plastic into the oceans, polluting everything around us as everything careens towards the end. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, man. Yeah, psychopaths among us. Yeah, psychos, warhawks, scumbags, powerful scumbags. Yeah. I'm not afraid of blue hairs, guys. I think they're scared of internet memes because their existence is mostly online. I think you're probably right. I think anybody out there that thinks that blue hairs are ruining the world is terminally online and needs to like touch grass or whatever the fuck you kids say. Because that's just crazy. That's just crazy, guys. Yeah, those guys want you picking apart the philosophy of a 20-year-old blue hair from a liberal fucking arts campus. What? What? Huh? I'm bitter that the blue hairs never sleep with me. Yeah, I mean, if you... okay, guys. Confession time. I fucked a blue hair. I fucked a blue hair for a long time. Here's the thing. You've got to know how, right? It's like any other thing. It's like there's no instruction manual. You've got to feel it out. Yeah, you know, my last girlfriend was blue hair, what, cotton candy pink and blue at one point. You know, the whole nine, anime figurines, the whole deal. Did it hurt? Sometimes, yeah. Hurt so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. She a nice person? Yeah. Yeah. Conservative Scooby-Doo. It's always a blue hair. Well, mine was more of a weeb blue hair, okay? Mine definitely tended more towards weeb, the one I'm referencing. Way more on the weeb scale, less on the college lib scale, right? But still, if you saw her walking around in public, a lot of you conservatives would probably cross the street to avoid having to have a brush with a blue hair. Ugh, weebs, most anime needs to be banned. Bro, you're very conservative guy, aren't you? You just want to ban everything. You're scared to death of like college girls. What is going on, man? Are you okay, man? Nope. MAGA communist? Bro, that's a whole level of brain rot that I'm not even... Dude, I'm not even equipped to talk to you, man. I'm going to just be straight up. I don't even know what the fuck you just said, bro. A Gandhi warmonger. That's basically what you just said to me. You're a Gandhiist warmonger. What the fuck? Yeah, anarcho-fascist, yeah. Anti-imperialist, anti-fascist, and anti-woke. That's what it is. That last part is what's broken your brain, bro. Can you tell me what you think is wrong with woke? I want to have this whole fucking conversation. I got half my charge left. Give me a sec, though, okay? Do not ban this man. This MAGA communist guy and I are going to have a fucking conversation about woke. Because you know what? Maybe he's going to educate me on some shit about woke that I don't know. I'll let you know at the front. I think that I am probably pretty woke. I think as I understand woke, that means being aware of like racial and sexual and gender differences when you talk about things in context, right? That's what woke means in my mind. So being aware of the racial, religious, cultural context of what you're talking about, right? That's what woke is in my mind. And so I would say I'm woke because of that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I think as like an amateur, you know, I don't know what you'd call it, like historian, historian. I love history. I read a lot of history. I read a lot of historical nonfiction. And what I read in those books is always woke. It's like being aware of racial prejudice when you're talking about societal systems, being aware of bias, both historical and modern day, and making that part of the conversation, and centering that as part of the conversation when it needs to be. That's woke. Okay, so I'm gonna go get a drink and take a pee. And when I come back, I wanna have a conversation about woke. And I'm gonna toke while we do it. In the moonlight, I'm dancing with myself under the starlight. I'm moving with alright. Do 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. Now stay woke. Bum, bum. Neighbors creeping. They gonna find you, catch you sleeping. Stay woke. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so let's talk about this. We fear woke enough that it's part of our ideology. We're anti-fascist, we're anti-imperialist, and we're anti-woke. Let's focus on the woke. So what is it? What is it about the woke that puts it so high on your list that it's like a huge chunk of your ideological perspective, right? You can be trans and not woke. People don't get that, and it doesn't mean you're conservative. If gender is not binary, politics definitely. I agree. I agree. Politics are not. Politics are a non-binary. I agree. I look at most of life, especially when it comes to human affairs, on a spectrum, right? I don't think that hard examples exist in humanity or anywhere in nature. I think that there's a spectrum of interest, a spectrum of politics, a spectrum of sex and gender, right? Sex is bimodal. Sure, sex is bimodal. When you're talking about reproductive sex, yeah, it's bimodal. That's the way that things work most of the time. Now, there are some pretty fucking stark examples, amphibians being one of them, of animals that can freely change gender. And knowing what we know about biology, we know that we share common ancestors with those amphibians. So, intersex prove it, right? But yes, when it comes to mammals, sex, reproductive sex is bimodal. Bimodal, that means it takes two. It takes two very specific types of biological makeup in order to create a life. We're talking about reproductive sex. So basically what they're saying is you need a penis and you need a vagina, you need a womb, you need ovaries, you need testicles, you need gonads, is what they're saying, yes. Reproductive sex is bimodal. What else? People are born both. Say woke. How is gender a spectrum? Okay. So gender identity is separate from sex. You can have a penis and you can represent yourself as traditionally female. You can have a vagina and represent yourself as traditionally male. I don't think I would ever stand in anybody's way and of how they dress, how they present themselves, how they cut their hair, whether or not they wear makeup. I don't think anybody would make any kind of argument that you should do that. So gender being separate from biological sex, right, is a spectrum. And it does seem like that's a sticking point for people. There are people who are born with non-functional testes and ovaries. These people are called intersex, right? But we're not talking about those extreme examples. We're calling those an outlier, and we're agreeing that biological sex is bimodal, and we're disagreeing that gender. You say that gender is also bimodal, and I say that gender is a spectrum of expression. A lot of what you consider to be traditional gender expression is cultural, not biological. Do you understand that? Stay woke. That's like this is like gender philosophy 101, right? Okay? The separation of biological sex from gender expression, right? And you see examples of this all throughout history. This is not, a lot of people say, oh, this is brand new. People expressing themselves in different gendered, let me give you an example. I'll give you a fucking example, okay? There used to be a fashion back in the day. Big white wigs, makeup, frilly lace, pink ruffles, lace around the edges, very delicate jewelry, perfumed men, high heels, men. This was, for a long time in Europe, the picture of masculinity. How is gender a hard binary? And that's also true. Powdered wigs, pancake makeup, fake moles, pink suits with lace ruffles, flowers. Oh! Were the founding fathers woke for wearing high heels, powdered wigs, and makeup? It's just the Brits? No, it's the founding fathers of the founding fathers of the United States of America are the Brits. So were the founding fathers woke or were they based? I'm confused, man. Is that crack? Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, dude. You nailed it. They wore wigs because syphilis was rampant and caused hair loss. So they had to dress like women. They had to dress in pink lace and high heels because of hair loss. How'd that work out? How'd that math work out? What's that? So so bald guys, I'm very lucky. I'm 44 and I'll probably never go bald. My hairline is fucking like, people would kill for it. So let me ask you, like, guys that are going bald, do you go get pink lace and fake moles and white pancake makeup because to hide your bald? And do you put on your high heels so that your ass sticks out when you walk to hide your bald? I'm just asking if that's like kind of normal thing that happens. I don't know. I think it's probably not anymore, but it was just a few hundred years ago. What's your point? My point is that gender is a spectrum, not a binary. That's my point. And that gender is separate from biological sex. Biological sex is what kind of dangly bits do you have, and that's it. Gender expression is an entirely different spectrum of personal fucking expression. And your basis for what you think the normal binary in gender expression is based largely on the fact that you live in a current culture that extols certain things about traditional femininity and traditional masculinity. Gender is not sex, and sex is not gender. As soon as you get that through your head, the whole fucking goddamn thing opens up. You're like, oh, okay. No, the fucking founding fathers weren't a bunch of crazy woke transes. They just existed at a time where gender expression was very different for men. They weren't a bunch of trans guys walking around in high heels with their butts sticking out, wearing white makeup with fake moles and powdered wigs and being very effete. They weren't transes. They just existed at a time when men were expected to express themselves in a courtly, lordly manner. And doing that, if I were to dress that way, you would say I was dressed traditionally feminine. I would have pink lace, my hair would be all up fucking underneath a big white wig, I'd have makeup on. I'd have a big fake mole somewhere on my face. I'd have rings. I would have a walking stick, and I would walk very deliberately, and I would keep my head held high, and you would say I looked traditionally feminine. But if you were raised in that culture, you would say, there's a man of influence. There's a man of business. There's a man that gets things done. You see? Are we starting to understand now? You trolling? No. No! People are freaking out. No! But gender, two gender, there are two gender, there are two gender, how have spectrum, two gender. Understand what? That biological sex and gender are two different fucking things. They're not conflated. Ape no like. Ape like black and white. Black and white easy. Spectrum hard. Black and white fun. Spectrum boring. Come on. All right, stay in. Dinor's done. Does not want to be out of here no more. All right. So where are we going next? I bet he's looking in the fridge. Just grabbing a fresh pack of smokes, man. I've already got my ice water, so we're good. Wearing that cartoon shirt again. Yeah. I love that attempted own. He was like, you talk about bad about cartoons, but you're wearing a cartoon shirt. I was like, that's Carole King. That's a picture of Carole King. What are you talking about? She's a real lady. Not that I have anything against cartoons, mind you. Just not my preferred medium. Who? Carole King. Just look her up, man. She's a singer-songwriter. She was popular in the early mid kind of 70s into the early 80s. She has one good album, yeah. My mom used to play it constantly. Yeah, the song she's probably known best for is It's Too Late. Yeah, she ghost wrote on a lot of songs and stuff in the 60s for sure. I do remember the painting you gave. I have it. I just haven't found a place for it on my set. I want to put it up somewhere. I need to redo my set. I've got a way better camera now with a telephoto lens on it, and I can back it way off and get way bigger set in it. But the office that I'm in now is a tiny little bedroom, man. And so when I move, which might be a few months, I'm gonna have a complete redesign of my set. But yeah, no, I have it, bro. I keep everything that you guys make for me. When I do these meetups and stuff, you can see behind me when I do the main podcast and stuff, there's a dream catcher. A dude made that for me and brought it to me and gave it to me. I cherish these things. You know, I keep all that stuff. Am I banned? No, you're not banned. I think you just got timed out for something. You're good, bud. Did you guys settle on a place? Yeah, we settled on an area. It's still, like I said, it's months in the making here. We're not moving tomorrow, but yeah, we settled on an area, I think. Will you guys ever do all-in-one studio? I'm assuming again. Yeah, yeah. It may not be permanent. I don't think any of us want to be tied to somebody else's fucking living choice. I did that for a long time, and I'm not salty about it. On DP, I didn't have a choice where that show was. I had no say in where that show moved. When it was in Ohio, I was in Ohio. When it was in fucking Washington, I was in Washington, right? And then when that show ended and the guys decided that they wanted to move closer to home, I moved to Louisiana. I never in a million fucking years would have moved to Louisiana of my own volition. Like I said, I'm not salty about this, but I did my time, right? I put in my time living in somebody else's fucking dream state or whatever the fuck. I don't do that no more. So, like, if the guys want to subvert their expectations and move closer to me, I'd be down for that. But I'm not moving to the south. I'm not moving back east. I don't want to live anywhere other than where I'm at or where I'm going. What's Louisiana like? Hot, muggy, humid, poor, underfunded, too many cops, a lot of violence. If you go downtown into New Orleans, the street smells like piss and vomit 24/7, 365. In the summer, it gets worse. It smells like hot shit down there too. It's fucking gross, man. You never, like, if you let here's a Louisiana thing. You take a shower in the morning, right? You wash your hair, dry off your hair with a towel. It still needs to dry off, right? But you're good. Dry yourself off, you put on your clothes, you walk out. Your hair will be wet 8 hours later. Okay? The humidity is 100%. It's not evaporating off of you. So you will never get dry. If you wash your hair, you better get a fucking blow dryer, bro. Point blank. It stinks. It's hot. It's broke. It's ignorant. It's a shitty place to live all around. It's like 50 out of 50 in education. It's just a shithole. It's a contender for worst state in the union. Gets smacked with 3 or 4 hurricanes every season. You know what I mean? As an American, do you feel drunk with apathy? No. If anything, I feel a need to be doing more constantly. But I feel like that's like a typical American workaholic kind of ideal. This idea that Americans are all apathetic is kind of like a reductionist view, in my opinion. I just don't think most Americans care about politics anywhere near as much as the media would like to make it seem we do. Why do you think Scotty wants to live there? I don't think he does. They're moving. So it's not my job to tell you where to, but Scotty and Taylor are moving. So. But the place that they're moving to is not a place that I'm interested in living. There's also, like the possibility that I end up going the RV route in a couple of years, doing the digital nomad thing. I don't have kids. I got animals that travel well. I got a wife that likes to travel with me. Get a motorhome with a tow dolly behind it for our car. Right? Then I could make trips down near them. I wanted you to know that I'm ready to go. Heartbeat, my heartbeat. Bump, bump. That's a good song. I like Childish Gambino's like dance songs. Is that gay? You gay? I'm bi. If you lived in Florida, no. I would, no. I'm not interested in the extreme East Coast at all. I'm a West Coast boy. I'm a Cali kid, born and raised, you know. I think everyone's bisexual. Dude, I don't want to chase people out of here, but hard agree. I mean, bisexuality really doesn't make sense. You know, I just don't like the new labels. Because when people ask me questions like, okay, would you date a trans woman? Yes. Okay, so you're pan then. What? Pan? So I'm just holding on to bisexual because it's the one that I always thought of in my head. Mostly as like a dirty, self-deprecating pejorative for most of my life, and then I owned it when I turned 40. Yeah, I was raised in a very homophobic kind of household, so you know, I was very closeted for a very long time. Did you date a femboy? You know, not to get too fucking explicit with people. I don't want to take it down that road, unless that's what you guys want to talk about. I'm an open book when it comes to that. So here's how I describe it. I have a broad interest in traditional female femininity, right? And a much narrower interest in masculinity. So I'm much more picky about, I guess, dudes that I would say I'm attracted to. And most of the dudes that I would say I'm attracted to tend towards androgyny or even femininity. I'm not into like big, muscly guys. I'm into kind of like smaller, more feminine dudes. Yeah, you hear that? So those are like red-tailed hawks. Here's a piece of trivia. Every time you hear an eagle screech in a movie, that's what you're hearing. You're hearing that bird. And they're very regional bird. A red-tailed hawk is regional here in Central California. And that's the sound that you hear anytime you hear an eagle in media. Eagles actually sound hilarious. You can look it up. Go look up a bald eagle screeching. It sounds hilarious. Red-tailed hawks have that iconic that eagle screech, you know. And that was a mated pair, I'm assuming, that you guys just heard. Sounds like a seagull. All right, I give up. On what? Yeah, I'm way far inland. Sometimes seagulls like kind of like blow through here, probably riding like thermals, I would imagine. But there are no seagulls around here. I'm very inland. What do you think of the fact that California is just Colorado but worse? Cope, sea, mold, etc. It's cool, Colorado. It is really pretty there, man. It really is. Not gonna front. You got a nice state, but we got everything you got and everything else. So you can cope with that however you feel like you need to. I was asking if you have Swedish genes. Oh, yes. Yes, I have Norwegian genes. Norwegian, Irish, British. This comes up a lot. People are really interested in that nationality stuff. I guess I have I present traditionally Norwegian, is what I've been told. Or traditionally Swedish, or whatever the fuck, you know. Best state in the Union. California. Paul is high-key a Cali supremacist. Yeah, I am. And with good reason. I can back my bullshit, you know? That's the thing about, like, people that understand California. Thanks, man. No problem, man. I'm sorry I didn't read it. I try. It's hard to answer everybody. There's a lot of people. But I wasn't trying to ignore you, man. Hear it? Red-tailed hawk. Did you hear him? Ah, she's so powerful. Did you guys had to hear that, right? Tell me you heard that. Hear him? You heard it? Told you. Told you it weren't no seagull, guys. You guys are trying to fucking call me on a seagull? Nah. I'm a Cali boy. I know a red-tailed hawk when I hear one. Paul the nature nerd. Cali is very overrated. All right, boy. Says Kentucky. Overrated how, bro? I hate having this conversation every goddamn time, but if I gotta fucking represent. Where's Dino? Oh no, he's inside. We're good. I don't want one of these hawks. They're clearly hunting around here. I don't want one of these hawks to fucking think Dino's a big old rabbit and pounce him. He's indoors though. He's fine. Ugh. LA is overrated. I bet North Cali is lovely. LA isn't even overrated. It's the biggest metropolis on the planet Earth. It's the most fucking insane place that you'll ever visit. I mean, it's not overrated. There are parts of it that are horrible. There are parts of it that are great. It's like no other place on Earth, man. How do you call it overrated? You can't... Man, you hear them? They must be nesting. There's a huge pine tree. I think it's in my neighbor's yard or my next neighbor. They're nesting. Either that or they're just hunting this area big time. Because there's a mated pair. I bet they're nesting up in that big tree. That would be a perfect roost for them. It's the tallest tree within like 10 miles of here, probably. That is so cool. It was so neat to like mention red-tailed hawks and then you get red-tailed hawks, you know? I want a beefy 5-layer right now. Get you one, man. I just looked up bald eagle screeching, ridiculous sound. I know, dude. It's retarded. They sound awful. They sound kind of cute and derpy. I don't know how to put it. Does LA have a lot of fatties? LA has a lot of everything. Name anything. Name any racial subgroup. Name any body type. Name any fucking gender expression. Any nation of origin. Any culture. It's there. It has everything. People don't understand. It's like a true global metropolis there. You can't say it's overrated because there's nothing to compare to it. And you can argue with that all day, but you're not going to argue with a comparison. The closest that you'll come is the New York metro area. You could fit the entirety of Manhattan in one corner of the LA basin. Population and all. Okay? Name one. There are a lot of places like that. Name one. Was Alabama like for you? Empty, backwards. Smoking that Reggie? Nah, I never smoked Reggie. I'm a little too fucking bougie for that. Been smoking too long for Reggie, buddy. I'm smoking them upper mids. That's my home base. I'm just joking, I know. Those mid uppers, dude. That's where the home base is at, dude. I was looking. I usually don't look at like the comments on these. I checked the comments on one last night. One of these is the one I did a couple of days ago or whatever. And the people were coping hard. Like there were people like, Paul's so wrong on weed. Like when I was talking about how like weed over 30% is just a lie, and most weed that says it's 30% is also a lie. Like people were like, "No, dude, from Canada would blow Paul's mind," and blah blah blah. And it's just like, man, there's so much cope. That's why I have to be a Cali supremacist, right? That's why I have to have this argument over and over with people, because people are just delusional, man. Delusions. Not all dispos will tell you that. I smoked 7% and it was better than 40%. 7's a little low for me. I mean, my home base is in the 20s, man. You give me something that's like 18 to 25% or whatever, and you can prove that, you know, it's a good fucking well-banked strain that's not high testing everything. Why? Okay, so the biological structure of the plant marijuana cannot support the terpenes. Hold on one second. Hey neighbors. Hey, I'm sorry to bug you. I wanted to let you know that this little corner where you got a broken tile, I was watching paper wasps go in and out of there all day yesterday. Yeah, wasps. Yeah, dude, I don't want your babies to get stung or whatever. I tried to knock on your door yesterday. I think you guys were out. I just said the next time I saw you, I was going to let you know. Right? You see that broken tile right there on the end? I don't think they're swarming, but I saw them going in. I think they're building right now, so if you catch it now, they won't get your dogs or your kids then. Yeah, no worries, man. Good guy, Paul. You gotta look out, man. Like you got, you know, neighbors are still neighbors, man. It sucks that, you know, we don't know each other as well as kind of like when I was growing up, but dude, they got kids over there. I don't want them to get stung up. Those wasps, once they get like their nest, because like I could tell they were coming and going. I think they're paper wasps or yellow jackets. Yeah, while they're nesting, they're not super aggressive because they're looking to establish. But once they get like their whole queen established and they get larvae, dude, they're real aggressive. They're real aggressive things. And man, dude, I got stung up when I was a kid. And if I can, you know. Like a good neighbor, Palsy goes there. No. Yeah, no, I mean, you gotta look out for shit like that, for sure. That Alaskan snow wasp, no joke. Wasps scare me. They are pretty fun. They don't scare me. Dude, I got a crazy wasp story. Can I tell you guys a crazy wasp story? Old school Paul's Ego people have heard this one. I'm gonna tell you guys a crazy wasp story. And it's a little bit like, I don't know, dude, probably not, like it's a little off color by modern standards, I guess. So when I was growing up, and my parents were blue collar workers, we owned a big piece of land. Things were different in the 80s, right? And at some point when my parents were pulling double shifts and working opposite shifts, they started to have trouble keeping up with the lawn. I wasn't really old enough to get on the ride-on mower yet and reliably do it, right? That would eventually become my job. But in that interim period, my parents hired a man who was an illegal alien. His name was Jesus. He had a gardening business in Madera. And Jesus was a cool guy. He cut my hair too. He was just a really nice dude. And he knew how to do a lot of stuff. And he was a real hustler. And that's true of all immigrants that I've met. It's like they get very demonized, I think, in our culture. But yeah, the ones that I have met and interacted with have all been really like hustlers. You know, you can't come here, especially to California. Is being illegal relevant to the story? Kind of, yeah. Because I just wanted to paint the picture. This guy was like a different type of person, right? His hands. Okay, so you guys understand like a working guy's hands, right? So my hands are very soft now because it's been a long time since I did stand-up labor. I do the internet for a business, right? So my hands are soft, right? When you shake my hand, you can tell that I'm not out there pulling a rope all day, lifting all day, right? This man's hands, Jesus's hands, I will never forget his hands. His hands were hard all the way around. His calluses weren't just on his palms, it was on the backs of his fingers. His fingers were knobby and like just calloused everywhere between his fingers. His hands were so like strong, right? So one day, my parents were really cool with this man, and he was cool with me and my little sister and my friends around the neighborhood. He did a bunch of people's lawns in the neighborhood. It was his business, right? And so one day it was not uncommon for him to say hi to us, right? And one day he goes, PJ. And it was me and my friend John. PJ, come here, I want to show you something. And I was like, all right. So we got off our bikes, you know, we ran up to Jesus. He was up near the house in the bushes. And he goes, look what I found. And he points, and it's a big wasp, a big paper wasp nest in the bush, right? And I could see wasps crawling on it, right? And I was like, whoa. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. They're real, their queen isn't here. They just set up. It's like, I'm gonna take care of it before it gets crazy. And he goes, watch this. He grabbed it with his hand and pulled it out, right? Now we're like 5-10 feet away, right? Those wasps started crawling out of that nest onto his hands, and you could see them like stinging away. And he was just like, see? He's like, don't do this, but they can't hurt me. And I was like, what the fuck? And he just like swatted them, crushed the nest in his hand and raked it all up, and just like, all right, have fun, boys. We were like, it's like, that's crazy, dude. I will never forget that. You know, you don't ever forget that. No, I mean, wasps are fine out in the wild, but their propensity to try and colonize living structures and stuff is no bueno. Jesus gave me the Vanilla Ice haircut. I begged my mom to let me get the Vanilla Ice pompadour with the lines shaved in the sides. She finally relented for my birthday, and she had Jesus give it to me. It was dope. I was the coolest kid at school for like 3 weeks. Easy. Vanilla Ice pompadour with the side shaves, high and tight, dude, on the sides with the lines, dude, the zigzag line. And an eyebrow notch, bro. No kidding. Yo, you gay? I don't know, what do you think, bro? No, I've never done white boy dreads. I've never had the balls. Yeah, there's pictures, man. I'd have to go through my mom's pictures, but I've seen those pictures of me with the ice baby hair. Pretty dope. Never had braids. Never done any, like, it's only in the last 10 years of my life that I've even been able to, like, have long hair. Most of the time I worked jobs that made it to where I'd have to have my hair in a fucking man bun all day, and fuck that. I don't have long hair to put it up. So, yeah. And then, you know, if you go back on this channel and look at some of my older stuff, you'll see I used to have hair down past my ass, like super fucking long, like wizard hair, and that was a nightmare. So now I found this like happy medium of like shoulder length or collarbone length, and then I go get it cut. I keep it Kurt Cobain, all right? I'm old school like that. All right, I'm from the 80s and 90s. I can keep it Kurt Cobain, all right? And that's what I do. I keep it Cobain. Like Kurt Cobain, if he had an addiction to donuts instead of heroin. That's my whole look. That's what I'm shooting for, man. Why did you trim the beard? It has to be trimmed, man. It has to be trimmed. It's like a wild bush, okay? At a certain point, you have to give it the room to grow again, you know? Next should be a bathing suit try-on. No. And why did you cut it so far back? Because you cut it back, man. If you're gonna trim it, you trim it. Do you like whiskey? No. Not to shit on whiskey. I had a very bad first experience with whiskey. So when I was about 13, I got together with a group of my fucking dorky guy friends. And we all got together at a dude's house. His parents were out of town. We weren't supposed to be there. And we got our hands on some Jim Beam, right? And so none of us had really done any hard drinking before. We'd snuck a beer here and there, right? And we wanted to get fucked up. And that whole night, dude, that whole night is a story, bro. I'll tell you the whole story. Fuck it. And then that'll be the end. Because I gotta go inside and fucking get ready for a meeting here in a minute. I gotta name names, okay? There were 3 guys involved in this particular drinking incident, okay? 4, actually. 1, Paul Zigo. 1, John. 1, Waylon. And 1, Jason. Okay? Last names protected for the innocent, or whatever the fuck. We've got a bunch of beer. We've got Jim Beam. We decide we want to do some hard drinking. None of us has ever really been super drunk before, but every one of us had been drunk before. Except one of us. Waylon. Waylon had never touched a drop. So we start shooting the Jim Beam. It goes around. I pour myself a double shot of it. I take it back. I am not prepared for it. It comes boiling out of my mouth again, along with some bile. I just threw up immediately. I was like, oh God, man, that's fucking awful. So I did the first party foul, okay? I did. But not the worst. Ever since then, I can't really do malt whiskeys and fucking like scotches and all that shit. But that night I did. I sucked it down. At least I knew what was coming. So I bloop, 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 got good and drunk. Everybody got good and drunk. And this kid, Waylon, he'd never been drunk before. And now he's wasted, right? And he wants to keep drinking. And we're all looking around like, dude, we're already wasted enough. And you're way more than wasted. So he starts to get belligerent. And it's at me because I'm the one that, like, of all my friends, I grew up in the alcoholic household, so I kind of knew drinking etiquette. And I was like, bro, I wasn't trying to tell him what's what, but I was like, bro, you got to tone it down, man. You've had way more than enough. You're super drunk. Let's just chill for a couple hours and see how we feel. That's all I was saying. He took it as brawling, right? He was like, you don't tell me what the fuck to do, bitch. And I was like, whoa. I was just saying, man. No. I handle my own shit. And now his, like, laser focus of his angry, drunk trip is on me, right? And so we move on. We're talking about other things. And then, like, I just notice him. He's across the table, like, the whole fucking time. Like, mean mugging. You know it, like this. Mean mugging. Giving you, like, what we call down here, we call it the shit eye. Shooting you the shit eye, right? And at some point I had to call it out because, like, dude, I was 13 and drunk, but dude, I'm still a guy. I'm still a man, all right? You got to stand on business. And I didn't want any, but I was like, dude, why are you looking at me like you want to kill me? And he said some shit. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like, maybe I fucking do want to kill you. You ever think about that? And I was like, bro, let's not. He stands up real quick, like stands up so fast, like the chair falls over. And I went into fight or flight, bro. And I was a little toadstool at the time, dude. I didn't have my growth spurt till I was 15, bro. It was flight. I flew. Fly, you fools. He came after me, bro. And he was bigger and taller and stronger and more athletic. And we're at my friend John's house, and out in his backyard, it was like a big hill. His house was on a hill, and the hill sloped down to a pond. And I just started booking it down the hill. But he gained on me. I could feel his breath, his hot-ass breath on my neck. It was like an animal thing. And so I started screaming, like, help me, or some shit, right? And at some point, I tripped, because I was wearing, like, baggy pants. It's the 90s, right? It's 93. Tripped on my pants. And because I was going downhill, I went airborne. He jumped like a fucking linebacker and grabbed me in midair. And this is the thing people always call bullshit on, but I'm telling you, it happened. We went airborne, right? This dude grabbed me around the waist in midair, pulled me to him, and started dry humping me. And I'm in midair like, what the fuck? And then we just hit, right? And we hit with the force of two bodies, because he's on top of me now. And so it crushes all the air out of my lungs, like knocks my wind out of me, right? And he just doesn't stop humping. He's dry humping. And I can't breathe. And then all of a sudden my wind comes back. I take this gasping breath and I just scream like, no! Right? As loud as I could. And the other guys are like running down the hill to see what the fuck happened, right? And he stops. Like, I don't know what it was, but that guttural scream, maybe that's what he needed to finish. I don't know. But that scream of like, I'm dying, please stop. It stopped him, right? And I wish I could say that like that's where it ended, but it just got worse. It got worse from there. So my friend John had an older brother, Bobby, who was in training to be a highway patrolman. He was fresh out of high school, training to be a highway patrolman. He comes home, there's a bunch of 13-year-olds drunk as fuck just flopped around the living room with music playing that's too loud. He's like, oh, what the fuck, guys? And we were like, oh, Bobby, sorry, dude. Yeah, you know, I fucking tried to talk to him. And he's like, it's cool, but like, you guys are gonna have to clean all this up because Dad will fucking kill me, let alone you. He's like, I know, man. We're just chilling. So Waylon, who had been kind of like half passed out on the couch at this point, goes, Bobby's a punk ass cop. And Bobby was like, "What's up, Waylon?" He knew us all. He's the older brother guy, right? It's like, "What's up, Waylon?" Like, "Fuck you, man. You're a punk ass cop. You gonna lock me up? You gonna put me in fucking handcuffs, Bobby?" He's all brolic for no reason. We were 13, yeah. And Bobby looks at me, and I'm like, he's like, "Dude, Waylon, you need to chill the fuck out, bro. Seriously." He walks out to go get whatever he came home for. He just came to pick something up, and he was leaving. So as he's walking out the door, Waylon goes like, "Fuck you," right? And Bobby's just like, "Whatever, man." Just leaves, right? He's too old to get fucking thrown in jail for beating up a 13-year-old. A squeaker, dude, a literal squeaker. But Waylon had just imbibed a little too much of that liquid courage, and it's happened to the best and worst of us, you know. So, shit got a little crazy. Because Waylon's parents called. After Bobby left, Waylon's parents called and asked to speak to Waylon. This was pretty common back in the day. You know, if you're going to spend the night somewhere, your parents called to check up and make sure you were where you said you were, and they wanted to talk to Waylon. Waylon is fucked up. Fucked up. And so I make an excuse. I'm like, "Oh, yeah," you know, and I sobered up real quick. I was good at this, right? It was Waylon's mom on the phone. It's like, "Oh, yeah. No, Waylon's good. We're all good. We're here. We're just watching a movie. I think Waylon went to go take a poop or something. He's been in the bathroom, but I can have him call you a little later if you want." She's like, "No, I'll wait." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Hold on real quick. I'll go see if I can find where he's at." And so I'm like, "Guys, look at Waylon's mom. Waylon's mom wants to talk to him. What do I do?" Waylon overhears this because he's in the fucking room. He goes, "Give me that phone." I was like, "Dude, I don't think that's a fucking good idea, bro. I don't think that's the right move here right now. You need to chill the fuck out. I need to just tell her you're taking a shit, okay? Give me the fucking phone, man. I got it." And so I'm thinking like, all right, well, maybe he's gonna pull shit together and he'll just like be like, "Hey, mom, what's up? I'm good. Yeah, bye." I was like, man, it was like fucking like the last play of the Super Bowl. I was like, please, 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 just fucking touchdown, okay? One touchdown is all you need. One touchdown. He grabs the phone from me and he goes, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, that's not what you say." And I could hear his mom. I couldn't hear what she's saying. He's like, "Mom, I'm fucked up. We're drunk, okay? Drunk, and we got a gun over here, so whatever." And he just hangs up, and I was like, "Hey, baby." "Oh yeah, give me 1 sec." It's like, so I know we're fucked. I know we're fucked at this point. So I'm just like, oh shit. So I call my mom. My mom's chill. She told me in the past, if you're ever in a place where you need to leave, doesn't matter what you're doing, call me and I'll come get you. So I was like, guys, my mom has said she's chill with this. I'm getting the fuck out of here. This is crazy. Everybody's like, okay, yeah, that's probably good. Call my mom. She's like, "I'm on my way, baby." Good. Fortunately, she lived farther away than Waylon's parents did. Waylon's dad showed up. I've never seen anything like this in my life, before or since. Call bullshit if you want. That's how it played out. I see the headlights pull up, and I think it's my mom, and then I'm like, oh fuck, it's way too early for it to be her. It's fucking Waylon's dad. And it was. It's Waylon's dad in his fucking orange pickup truck. I was like, he walks in, he just comes in, right? Waylon's standing there, and he just points. Waylon goes, fuck you. The old man walks over to Waylon. Just walks up to him and just goes. Waylon goes out. He scoops him up, throws him over his shoulder fireman style, starts walking out the door. We're all like, he turns around and goes, I've already called the sheriff. He loads Waylon into the back of his truck like he's a cargo, like he's a sack of flour, and peels out and drives off. I was like, my mom shows up. Me and my friend Matt, who had showed up late to all of the, or no, sorry, Jason, the other guy that was there. He'd showed up later, but he was involved. He was drinking too. He gets in. My mom takes him home, takes me home. I tell her the whole story. She's like, that's crazy. She's like, why is Waylon so stupid? I was like, I don't know, Mama. I didn't get in trouble at all. The sheriff was indeed called. My friend John got his ass beat 7 ways to Sunday for that. And Waylon wasn't even allowed to leave the fucking house and see us for like 6 months. Anyway, give me a sec. Actually, you know what? I gotta end this. It's time. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.